When armies from different eras collide, the outcome is not decided instantly. It depends on how long each military system can function once time begins applying pressure through losses, fatigue, and supply limits. The First World War Army is built for duration. Trenches, layered defenses, and mass manpower assume fighting measured in weeks and months, not rapid maneuver or decisive breakthroughs. The Second World War Army is designed for speed. Radios, vehicles, and coordination aim to shatter defenses early before the battlefield can stabilize and resist movement. Initial contact favors the World War II force. Coordinated artillery and armor suppress fixed positions, creating breaches that static defenses struggle to respond to immediately. But trenches are engineered to absorb shock. Overlapping machine gun fire and depth defenses slow advances, converting speed into attrition almost immediately. As resistance stiffens, momentum fades. Casualties rise, units pause, and the cost of every additional meter increases steadily. The First World War system expects loss. Reserves move forward methodically, restoring defensive strength without requiring rapid operational change. World War II logistics rely heavily on vehicles. Mud, shell damage, and mechanical failure gradually reduce supply flow and operational flexibility. The older army moves slower but steadier. Simpler supply methods remain functional even under sustained artillery fire and terrain damage. Without constant infantry support, armored units lose effectiveness. Tanks halt, reposition, or wait, consuming time rather than gaining ground. Artillery dominates the battlefield timeline. Continuous fire erodes attackers physically and psychologically, regardless of technological generation. Commanders face an unexpected problem. Plans built around speed now require patience, stretching decision-making systems not designed for prolonged stagnation. Trench forces manage exhaustion through rotation. Survival routines preserve cohesion even as losses accumulate. Ammunition expenditure exceeds forecasts. Firepower advantage becomes dependent on resupply rather than tactical opportunity. Stockpiles behind the trenches sustain defense. Predictable consumption allows resistance to continue without collapse. Medical systems strain under tempo. Faster operations generate casualties faster than evacuation systems can process. Despite damage, defensive lines remain intact. Holding ground becomes success enough. Intelligence reveals weaknesses, but acting on information requires fuel, ammunition, and rested units. Counterattacks aim to restore balance, not to advance. Stability becomes the priority. The faster army begins digging. Mobility yields to protection. The battlefield map shows a stalled front line. Despite early breakthroughs, neither side advances, and time begins flattening differences between mobility and static defense. Supply columns pull back for reorganization. Fuel shortages, damaged vehicles, and exhausted crews force operational pauses that reduce pressure on entrenched defenders. First World War commanders observe the front calmly. Their doctrine accepts stagnation, treating prolonged stability as a normal and manageable phase of warfare. World War II soldiers hold their positions visibly exhausted. Mud, lack of rest, and constant alertness erode effectiveness without dramatic battlefield change. At dusk, artillery continues firing across the battlefield. The rhythm of bombardment reinforces a war defined by endurance rather than decisive movement. An abandoned World War II vehicle remains near the trenches. Mechanical failure removes combat power permanently without enemy action. First World War soldiers repair trenches overnight. Restoring defenses maintains positional control and prepares the line for continued resistance. A wide battlefield shows no visible movement. Both sides remain in place, locked into a balance defined by exhaustion and supply limits. Command maps fade into darkness. Planning becomes less about advance and more about managing decline and preventing collapse. The battlefield lies quiet after fighting. No side achieves decisive victory. Survival through time becomes the only measurable outcome.